Okay, good morning, everybody. One more time. So I have three objectives today. As I mentioned to you yesterday, I wanted to show you guys how AWS S3 SDK works. I'm going to take Java as an example here, but Java doesn't play any role here. Pretty much, it's the same thing for .NET or any other programming languages. So AWS makes it as they try to make it as simple as possible. Okay, so I'll show you how your Java application interact with S3 and how you'll be able to create a bucket, upload the content, download the content, and so how some of the complex use cases can be solved by coding it, because they pretty much whatever you see on the AWS Management Console, you'll be able to comprehend it. You'll be able to see that in your code, and then at that point, sky is the limit, as I was saying yesterday. So you can solve any problem. So I'm going to show you that, and also, as I realized, most of you guys are familiar with Java, or almost all of you are familiar with Java. So let me know if anyone is not. Not a big deal. So,
I am not.
Raghu?
Yeah, but that's okay. I'll
Yeah.
That's fine.
But this is good for any programming language. Pretty much same concepts. So no worries there. But I'm going to show you in Java. So before I start with S3 SDK, let me show you how can we deploy a simple Java web app in AWS. Let me show that to everybody. Okay, you may be wondering that. So what I want to do is, so I've installed Eclipse. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of this tool called STS. Okay, this is Eclipse, but it's a Spring tool suites. It's a Spring guys Eclipse ++, Eclipse with some other plugins. So Spring is deeply integrated. Okay, so let me close this, guys, and I want to show you with a simple, couple of Google searches. I'm going to show you how you can do a lot of it. You don't need any prior knowledge or any of that. Okay, so this is Eclipse. As you guys know, I installed this, and I also installed Tomcat separately. I know Spring Boot, especially, it comes with its own Tomcat engine, but I installed a separate Tomcat here. And also, okay, later on for I told you guys as a prerequisite, please install SQL Developer. I'm going to show you that later in the day. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to start with a simple Spring Boot app. Okay, locally, it's all local. So file, new, Spring Starter project. So I was, let's say, test app. Okay. And all I need is, I can look for any Spring Web, next, finish. So I'm bringing up my test app. It's a Spring Boot app. I'm assuming you guys are familiar with Spring Boot. If not, no big deal. It's a framework that helps build microservices. Okay, it's completely Spring based, and it's a template based. If you guys are familiar with Ruby and Rails, the Spring Boot is very, very similar. It comes with the complete scaffolding right off the bat. You don't have to write a whole lot of code. So by default, it comes with Spring Starter Test and Spring Boot Starter Web. I added it. Okay. What it means is you will be able to expose a RESTful endpoint very easily. So let's go ahead and deploy a simple REST example. So I was thinking about how do I integrate S3 and EC2 and your Java SDK, all of this, and then later on with relational database service. So what's the best use case I can bring along? So then I was thinking about a simple service called weather service. Okay, so that's what we will be building. I will show you a simple weather service. I will tell you my objectives as we proceed along. So let's say weather controller. This is a REST controller. Okay. Annotate that with the REST controller. And then now you can expose a simple RESTful web service. So all I'm looking for is get weather for, take a zip code and give me the temperature. That's all. It's very, very, very simple. Okay. I can do request mapping. Actually, I can do probably get mapping, right? Response body, I think. Yeah. So here I'm saying if somebody calls /weather/ and then path variable here. So if somebody passes /weather/ 1234, then I will give the temperature in that particular zip code. Essentially, that's the RESTful endpoint I'm talking about. Make sense, everybody? And then I have to be able to take it here, right? So you have to use that path variable. So zip code is a path variable here. And now I don't care what the zip code is, I'm hard coding it. Written something like, 54 degrees F. Okay. So it doesn't matter what the zip code is, I'm always returning this 54 degrees. Yeah. That's a simple web service. Make sense? So let's go ahead and deploy this guy. Right click, run as Spring Boot app. Let's test it as a Spring Boot app. And then we'll build a WAR file and then deploy it into our local Tomcat and then see how it works. So it's opening up on localhost 8080, and then I'm building that weather 1234. It doesn't matter what the zip code is. It's giving me 54 degrees. Okay. So there's no condition, nothing. Well, if you want to make it another simple condition, you can do it. You can add, actually you can expect some 5-digit zip code, etc. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If at all, this is the zip code. If the past zip code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then return 54 degrees. Otherwise, no. Okay. Okay. So if I want to do this, then I can run as Spring Boot app. Okay, since it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 54 degrees, but if I pass something else, it's 78 degrees. You got it. So it's a simple RESTful endpoint. Yeah. I couldn't think of anything simpler than that. Does it make sense?
Venkat, quick question.
Yes.
So when you installed Spring Boot and Apache, I mean, did you make any you just installed Apache by default, or did you have to make any changes?
This one is a Spring Boot, this one is a tool called STS. So there are, probably I can make a video for you specifically. So the first step is you need to install Java. Okay. Java 8, 9, OpenJDK 11, whatever. Yeah, you can install Java. Next one is install a tool called STS, Spring Tool Suite. And these two are enough to test locally.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I mean,
you
that's
don't
what I was
need
getting to.
you don't need Tomcat really, because by default it comes with servlet engine. You don't need it. Okay, but I wanted to install Tomcat also, the standalone Tomcat. There is a reason for that. The reason for that is I'm going to build an app now, right? So this app, I want to deploy it in EC2. So my EC2, what I'm going to do in EC2 is I'm going to install Java there. Okay. And then install Tomcat. Actually, when you install Tomcat using your Amazon Linux extras, because we are using Amazon Linux, right? So they have their own yum-like package manager called Amazon Linux extras. So if you use that and you install Tomcat, you don't need to install Java also. Pretty much it comes with it. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. So, and then whatever the app that I locally built it, I want to deploy to EC2. Make sense? So that is why I wanted to install Tomcat. Make sense, guys? So now I have my Spring Boot app, but this will be good as a Spring Boot app. But I wanted to deploy this as a web archive file, WAR file. So I'm going to make a couple of changes here. In POM XML, see here, I have a group, artifact, and version as 0.001 snapshot. You know what? I'll change this to test app 1.0. Okay. Group GAV coordinates, they call it group artifact version. And then what's that type? I wanted to deploy packaging as WAR file. So I want this to be packaged as a WAR file. So whenever I want to deploy this as a WAR file, not as a fat jar file, this may be a new concept for some of you. Spring Boot provides a way to deploy it as a fat jar, but I wanted to rather deploy as a WAR file. So I'm going to take this and drop it into Tomcat. Okay. So that's why I put it as a WAR file. But I need to make one change to my application here. So see this one, by default, it says a Spring Boot application. It's a test application, makes sense. Now I need to extend the Spring Boot servlet initializer. Yes, I need to do this. And that's it. Now whatever the WAR file that I get it out of this application, I'll be able to deploy it in Tomcat just by doing this one. Okay. So I think that's it. Now, I see some problems here. Oh, it's because I changed my POM XML. So right click on this, go to Maven and update your project. How many of you guys are actively coding in Java? So this is my application. Now I want to build my WAR file, right? I'll say Maven or run as, and then Maven build. I'll say clean package, Maven clean package. So this will give me the war file. Okay, I'll say skip test so that it will do faster. Okay, I got my test app 1.0.war file. This is in projects, test app target, test app 1.0 war file. So let's go. That's in C, projects, test app, target, test app 1.0 war file. Now, this war file, I wanted to, before I go ahead and drop this one in EC2 Tomcat, I wanted to copy it into my local Tomcat and then see how it behaves. Okay, guys? So I'm going to copy this one and then go to C environment. And then where is my Tomcat? Apache Tomcat. So this is your Tomcat home or Catalina home, that's what they call it. And go to web apps. And here, paste your test app.war file. And now go to bin. This is my Tomcat. Startup. Oops, I did not set up my Java home. Okay. So Java home equal to. You have to set up your Java home for your Tomcat to up and running. There you go, my Tomcat is up and running. So now.
Venkat.
Yes.
Why do we have to create a war? Why we cannot install directly jar? Because war is like a jar and ER combination, right? So I'm assuming that ER is on server side itself, right?
I'll answer that in a minute. So slash localhost 8080, and what's your application name? What's our application name? Test app something, right? We called it. Where is this guy? Test app war file. I'm looking at this Tomcat console. Web app, whether that's another app. Okay, let me go take a look at it. C environment, Apache Tomcat, web apps, my test app. Yep. So this is the context name. By default, your application name is your context name, guys. Everybody. Localhost, this is your host name. This is your port name / your context name / weather. Now it's your web app weather / 1 2 3 4 5 54. Did you guys see? Now it's nothing to do with my local Eclipse anymore. I installed the war file. Make sense? So now let's say if I give a different, this guy 78 degrees. Did you guys see that? So what we are going to do now is we tested our app thoroughly in our local machine. Let's drop this war file in EC2. So let's spin up a new EC2 instance. Let's install Tomcat. Let's install Java and Tomcat. But by installing Tomcat, we'll be getting Java automatically. We're using Amazon Linux extras. We'll go ahead and do that. And then drop the war file one way or the other. How do you want to drop it? So what I'm thinking is that I will create a new bucket in S3, and using CLI, I will upload my war file into one of the S3 buckets. Now I will log into my EC2 and I'll download that code, that war file, into my Tomcat web apps folder. And then I will start my Tomcat. I will test it. Does it make sense what I'm trying to do here?
Can you repeat one more time, Venkat? Sorry.
Absolutely. So what I'm trying to do is, let me bring you. So what I'm saying is that so this is so lack of better shapes. Okay, this guy is user developer. So you have a local war file, right? So I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to copy this guy into S3. Does it make sense? I'm going to copy my local war file into S3 bucket. Now, after that, I'm going to log into EC2. I'm going to download that guy, that war file into EC2. Somehow, one way or the other, I want to get my war file into my EC2 Tomcat. Does it make sense?
Yep. So are we trying to make S3 as a repository? Kind of.
S3, I'm trying to, yeah, you can say that. Yeah, because I wanted to bring S3 into the picture here. So how can I utilize S3? So I will utilize S3 as my code artifact repository, not as a code repository. Code is local. Does it make sense? My source code is here only, but my artifact is my war file.
I got it. Yep, I got it now.
Okay, so, I'm going to drop it into S3. I'm using S3 as my hop, you can say.
Yeah, it's not a host, it's not complete repository. It's just kind of an landing war file repository kind of.
Yep. Makes sense? So let's go ahead and create a new EC2 instance. I don't have anything. So let's go and create a new EC2 instance. Okay, see this one, IAM role. I want to give this IAM role S3 full access role. Then only it will be able to. So I want this EC2 instance to be able to create, update, or to do any of the S3 activities, essentially. Okay. So, and I will not do it as a bootstrap script. I will go inside and then create Tomcat. I'll install Tomcat. I can do as a bootstrap script also. I'll say Tomcat 1. Security group. I'll create a new security group. I'll say Tomcat security, because Tomcat listens an 8080 by default. So, and I'm going to give 22 to everybody. That's fine. And I'm going to give a custom TCP rule 8080 port to everybody. Okay. Review and launch. Sure. Now, meanwhile, let's go ahead and create a new bucket, or I can create a new bucket using CLI. I can do that. So what I'm going to do is, where is my folder? C projects, test app, target. This is where my war file is. I will go into that first. CD. This is where I am. So my war file is there. So what I will do now is AWS S3. There is a command called make bucket. I don't know if we created a new one yesterday. AWS S3 make bucket. And this one I'm calling it as next step training, code deploy. How many, what's the size of the bucket name? Okay, AWS S3 MB make bucket, and bucket name is.
Hey, Venkat.
Yes.
So does that the name of the S3 bucket and your domain name should be same, or the one where you're dropping these files, or it should be fine?
Yeah, it can be anything. Remember, my domain name, sorry, my bucket name must be same as domain name only when it comes to Route 53.
Okay.
Okay. So in the Route 53, if you try to alias it, okay, nextsteptraining.com, let's say. So your bucket name must be same, and then it has to be made static website hosting enabled. Then only it will show you in the drop down there. Okay. So I created this new bucket, and then now I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to copy this WAR file there, AWS S3, copy my WAR file. What's that called? Test app dot one dot into S3 colon slash slash. Okay, I'm uploading my WAR file into that. That's my code deploy. It's a 16 meg file. Now, if you're wondering if it has really been created or not, you can go check. Go to S3. Next step training code deploy. There you guys. And this is our test app 1.0 WAR file. Makes sense. Guys, is everybody following? Please stop me if you're not following or any questions. So please do not wait. Yes.
Yeah, Venkat, can you give that link to that deployed WAR file so we can download?
Can you say that again?
Can you give the link to that WAR file in your bucket?
Oh, for all
so
of
we
you
can,
guys?
yeah, so we can deploy that and try.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, for all of you guys. So if you want to test this locally, you want me to give the public access?
Yeah.
You want my, okay, I'll make public. Sounds good. I think I like what you're suggesting there. Okay, so I think what Sindhu is trying to say is that, so I don't have to locally install my Eclipse or STS and create this. You already created it. Okay, my intention is not to, she's already familiar with it. I mean, like all of you guys are, you're all familiar with this code. You don't need to, spend some time and code it. Okay, you already have a WAR file. Okay, give me that and I will go deploy it in my EC2 instance. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, like that idea. Now let's go to EC2 running instances. Okay, let me connect to this guy. I should have connected as a root, but that's okay. Yeah, I can do sudo su. Now I elevated my privileges, sudo su. Now I want to use this Amazon Linux extras. So I'll go to my next step website, go to Unix commands. You will see this here, Amazon Linux extras. This is the command. This is very similar to your yum, but it only works on Amazon Linux. Okay. So whatever the default Linux core does not provide, Amazon Linux is providing it through this package manager called Amazon Linux Extras. Okay, using which you can install your Java, you can install your Tomcat. Okay, so actually Amazon Linux Extras, probably you can list out what's out there, and you will see that there is a Tomcat 8.5. Okay, so I will give Tomcat 8.5 and I will show you Amazon-Linux-Extras. Instead of list, I will call it install. And then I have to use that same name, Tomcat-8.5. And by the way, these are all the packages that's available. PHP 7.4 is available through Amazon Linux Extras, PostgreSQL, Mock, Ruby, Nginx, kernel ng, Java, Open JDK 11. There you go. This is your JDK. Okay, if you want to install JDK, all you have to do is Amazon-Linux-Extras install, use this name. PHP 7.3, Squid 4, Golang. Okay, there's a Go programming language. Tomcat. Oh, Docker. People who want to play with Docker and Kubernetes, you can do that. And everything else. These are all the, okay, if you want to play with Ansible, love it. HTTPD modules, love it. Okay. So anyways, that's all extra. Amazon Linux Extras space install space Tomcat -85. How did I get the name, the Tomcat 85? I used Amazon Linux Extras list. Give me all the softwares that I can install is what I said. And it gave me this name, Tomcat 8.5. Enter. Okay.
You gave
It's an error in the name there.
Thank you, sir.
Typo there.
You guys have got good eyes. So yes. And you may be asking this, can I do it as part of my Bootstrap script? Absolutely you can. See, it's installing your, what's that? It's installing your, okay. Go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, if you want to look at it, is which Tomcat? It's sbin Tomcat. Okay. So if I give a command Tomcat, then it will tell me, sorry, this is not how to use it. Use your Tomcat and then start or stop or version number. Tomcat. Let's say I want to find out the version number. It's an Apache Tomcat of 8.5.51. Make sense, guys? And now what I will do is I will go ahead and start the Tomcat. Tomcat start. So it would have started it now. Now I want to find out, okay, where is my web apps folder? Tomcat web apps folder is where your web archive files need to be placed. If you want to deploy your WAR files, that is where you have to place it. Okay, so where is that location? Well, look for all the process running, all the Java process running, ps-ef grep Java. Now, earlier we were looking for HTTPD, those were Apache. Now I'm looking for Java process. See this one? There is a process running here. Tomcat is a Java process, by the way, if you guys are not familiar with it. I mean, I know you're all. So class path, users, see this one? User share Tomcat bin bootstrap jar. Okay, all of this is fine. -d Java endorse scripts. That's fine. I'm looking for, where is my Catalina home? Where is my Catalina? Oh, let me make it big and then, okay, see this one? -d Catalina home, user share Tomcat. That is where my Tomcat is, guys. So user share Tomcat. This is my Catalina home, meaning this is my home, Tomcat home. Okay, so Tomcat typically has these folders: your logs folder, web apps folder, work folder, conf folder. In your conf, you know what to find. Your server.xml is there in this folder. You guys know that. Come back, and then your web apps folder. Go to web apps. So this is where all of your web applications should be installed. What do you mean by web applications? Your WAR files. So your code is currently in a bundled format in your S3. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that guy. So AWS S3 copy S3:// my bucket name, whatever that bucket name is. Where is my bucket name? Maybe I can use this guy here. Next step training code deploy. Okay. Next step training code deploy. AWS S3 is copy / copy this WAR file. Oops. Test app dash 1.0.war file into my local directory. I'm downloading it. Let's see if it downloaded. Well, yes, test app.1. My application name is test app-1.0. That's been downloaded. Now let's go to logs folder. Let's take a look at logs. So this is my Catalina new log. So let's take a look at this guy. I use my favorite command less. Okay, it's Catalina base is here. User share Tomcat, we got it. Catalina home is base is here, home is here, and your command line arguments, your -d, your JVM arguments. Okay. Looks like that's it. Now I copied it. What I want to do is, to be safe, I'm going to stop the Tomcat and I'll verify if any Java apps are running. They should not be, there shouldn't be any Java apps there. Let me go ahead and start the Tomcat and let's look at the logs. Let me tail my logs, this guy. Myself. Okay, looks like it started. But my test app also got started. See this one, test app? So my context name is my application name, which is test app-1.0. Okay. Now your WAR file, your Java application has been deployed into Tomcat in your EC2, guys. Okay, it's ready for your testing. Well, how do we test it? Well, let's find out the public DNS name. This is the public DNS name. HTTP public DNS name :8080/test app-1.0. Right? This is your context name /weather/12345 or something. 54 degrees. Wow. Let's change it 98765 or something. 78 degrees F. You guys can try this too. This is our simple REST app, locally built, deployed to Tomcat in your EC2 instance. Let's go ahead and test that.
So in this example, what you did now, it's S3 or more using just move the files around, right?
Yes, that's correct. And probably, I think it's a good idea. So S3 supports versioning, right? So I can safely use it. I know in the DevOps world there are a lot more options there. This is a poor man's version of it. You can say that. I don't want to do any of the Bitbucket setup and all that. Okay. And moreover, I want to bring S3 into the picture. How can I download safely into EC2? Okay. And I did not give my credentials to my EC2 box because I have used. Can anyone fill that? I do not have to give my EC2. Say that again.
Your keys are already set up.
I did not give keys to in my EC2 instance. My EC2 instance can talk to S3 without needing the keys. Why?
You give full access to your instance.
No, because I attached a role.
Yeah, I mean
that's how the roles work, right?
The IAM role, right?
Exactly.
Full access, that's what I mean.
Yep. S3 full access role has been given to my EC2 instance. When you give a role, your EC2 will assume that, okay? And you don't have to give your secret access key ID and secret access key. Make sense?
That is the rule that you created yesterday, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. That's the role I created and I assigned some policies to that. Now I attach that role to my EC2 instance so that EC2 can talk to S3 using CLI. It will be able to download the S3 bucket, not S3 bucket, but WAR file inside an S3 bucket into web apps folder of Tomcat, spin the server. Make sense? You guys like it?
Yeah.
Yes. So you guys all tested our web service, a simple RESTful endpoint /weather/blah, right? So that's a simple Spring Boot app, locally built. You got the WAR file. So if you want to be able to deploy the fat jar is actually the Spring Boot gives this fat jar. That's not, that's one way to deploy it, Ketan, and everyone else also. That's one way to deploy it, but that's not the standard way. You know, your web, that's not according to your servlet spec. Servlet spec expects only in the WAR format. That's why I wanted it to be compatible with across all the servlet engines out there, like Tomcat, Jetty, or anything else. You know, that's why I have used it. By the way, you have used the term EAR earlier. EAR is an enterprise archive file. That's, you know, if you're using EJBs and all that stuff. So you do not need that. You don't need it. So for your, you know, for the discussion, we only have two options. One is web archive file, WAR file. That's compliant across all the servlet engines. The other one is your fat jar. Fat jar is your jar file. Inside that you have a fully, you know, fully loaded jar files, all the dependent libraries. So you can do either way, but WAR is preferred if you want that portability across all the servlet engines. Okay.
Yep, got it now. Yep. Okay. Because usually we deploy jar only, but now I know why we usually
no, you
deploy
can do
jar
that.
only.
Yeah, that's a fat jar. That's what they call it. You know, these Spring Boot and Drop Wizard, these like microservice frameworks, they typically recommend that. I mean, one way or the other. Guys, okay, this is about it. This is about weather app, right? Now I have two options. Okay. I want to show you this one. Now we can, now what we can do is, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm thinking on the fly here. Okay. So let's complicate this a bit. This is what I want to do, guys. What I want to do is, see in this weather app, I hope I'm having everyone's attention here. So it's a hard-coded stuff, right? So I gave the zip code, and for each zip code, the corresponding temperature I'm giving it. So it's a hard-coded stuff. Now what I will do is, when you make a call to this web service, I will maintain the data in S3. This zip code to the temperature, I'll maintain that data in my S3. So in S3, I will feed the data. For what zip code, what is the temperature? My analyst will be maintaining it. Someone, you know, who gathers from government weather service or somebody, they'll feed it. They don't know Java, they don't know programming language, any of that stuff. All they know is when they get a new CSV file, let's say CSV file or Excel file, right? When they get a new CSV file, they know how to feed that. They'll just upload that data into S3. So what we will do is, when you call this guy, it will go to your S3. It will go to that S3 bucket and that particular object. Okay. And using some CSV, we can use a comma separated CSV files. Using some CSV parsers, we will parse that. And then we will look for a key value pair. The right way to do it is actually by reading it from the database, but you know, we don't have a database yet. We will complicate it by dumping this data into RDS later on today. But let's complicate one, you know, a bit at a time. Does it make sense? You understand the use case I'm trying to do it here? So I'm bringing a second use case here. I wanted to show you guys, how do you interact with S3 using Java SDK? I'm going to answer that with an example. Is everybody on the same page? Any questions? You can ask me now. Okay. So I don't want to do this dummy. Rather, I want to do get weather details from S3 weather feed, something like that. Okay. Weather feed CSV file or something. Okay. So to interact with S3, what you need is you need a separate, as I told you guys yesterday, the power of S3 and a lot of other AWS services lies in the powerful RESTful architecture. So it exposes a lot of these as RESTful services. Okay. But you don't have to call it. You don't have to call it, let's say in Java, in Spring, you have something called REST template. You will typically use REST template to make RESTful web services. You don't have to use any of that. You can directly use your S3 SDK. So SDK is nothing but an abstraction on top of your REST services. So you can use them to make a call. So it's I'll show you how simple that's going to be. So first, let's go to POM XML. And I recommend this article here. We can, let me.
So we need to create one CSV file on S3 first, where we have key value pair.
Yep.
And we are going to.
We can do key value or we can do comma separated. Either way is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we are calling it here by calling that S3 endpoint and write down a method to go ahead to S3 endpoint and pull it out based on the zip code.
You got it. You got it. So somewhere here, I'll create a new. I'll create this data folder and then I'll create a new file here. New file, weather data .csv, let's say. Oops. Yeah, we can do it in there also. Oh, by default, it opens in Excel, right? Yeah. Open with the system. Oh, sorry, open with text editor. So the first one, I'm going to take zip code. So zip code, comma, temperature. Five-digit zip code, let's say. Oops. 43 degrees. New zip code. Yeah, tell me some US true zip codes. Any other outside Michigan zip codes?
55108.
104. I didn't hear that, but that's okay. 63F.
55108.
Oh, thank you. 55108. And what's your weather?
16.
16C.
Fahrenheit, Minnesota.
My God, 16. Okay, we are. I think we had about 55 yesterday. Man, you guys. Okay, so this is weather data. What I'll do is I'll go to this particular folder. C projects test app data. Let's go here, guys. Okay, I have this weather data.csv. Now I'm going to do AWS S3 copy weather data CSV into S3:// maybe it makes sense to create a new bucket. Next step, training, weather data. Oops. It's probably, yep, there you go. So new one is created. Now let's go ahead and copy it. AWS S3 copy, weather dash data dot CSV into that. Okay, uploaded. Let's verify that guy. Weather data. There you go, weather data CSV. Okay, so let me open a document. You don't need to be experts in any of what I'm doing it here, okay? So don't worry. So we can all learn here. So I'll send you this link here. So let me share this link with everybody. It's very, very straightforward. So take a look at this. So AWS has made it super simple. It can't be any simpler than this. So if you want to create a bucket, use your S3. You can ask, you can call this method, does bucket exist? If so, then get bucket will give you, get bucket is a private method inside this one, but you can see this one, s3.create a bucket. Okay, what is S3? I'll show you. So how do I get these files? First of all, see this one, com amazon aws.regions, com amazon aws.services.s3, amazon s3 client builder. This is what I needed. So what are these files? Well, Google this, AWS S3 Java SDK Maven. So AWS S3 Java SDK Maven, you'll get your Maven repository. So pick up your latest one. So that's all. So AWS has built these wrapper objects. They built the Java libraries. They call it SDKs. And then they put it into central Maven repository. All you have to do is go to your POM XML, just copy this guy. Copy and paste it in your POM XML. And you will get your AWS related SDK into your code base. Now you will start using it. So I'll put this as a dependency. Like any of your dependency, you guys use common lang, common IO, commons, right? So similarly, you can build it. That's it. I've used AWS Java SDK S3. Now it will bring your Maven dependencies. If you look at, where are your AWS files? It will bring your AWS. Okay, I'll show you that. So now let's go to your weather controller. So get weather details from S3, right? Now I want to make it a little complicated, right? I don't want to call directly weather controller. So I'll call it weather service. So I'll do a dependency injection. I'll create a new call called weather service. Okay, I'll go ahead and create a new one, create class. I used the control one there. Weather service is a stereotyped service. Okay, so this weather service will give me that. This is where I'm going to write my S3 code. So get weather from S3. Give me the zip code. I'll go get it. Okay, so before, yeah, S3. Now I'll remove the hard-coded stuff, and now I'll call it, give me the get weather from S3, simple. And whatever the zip code that I got it, I'm passing it to this method, and then whatever you written it, I'll just return this guy. So my service class holds all the intelligence now, right? So now let's take a look at it. Get weather from S3. Now we want to deal with S3. So we looked at this guy here. So we looked at this one here. So these are the classes: COM, Amazon AWS regions, Amazon S3 client builder. This is where Amazon S3 client builder is the first class that you want to use it. It's a builder factory. Okay. So builder dot, okay, standard dot, what region you want to use it with region. What region do you guys want to use it? Oh, by the way, we have a specific region dot, US East 2. US East 2 is what? Ohio region. Yep. So this one, I got my with region. Okay, dot, I think. What's the problem here? Regions is not applicable for argument region. With region. Oh, okay. US East 2. Sounds good. Build dot build. This is a builder pattern, by the way. Amazon S3 client builder dot standard dot, you can give this with region. This is a old style builder pattern. And now once you build it, all it gives you is, it gives you a class called Amazon S3. So that's all, Amazon S3. This gives you an interface called Amazon S3. That's it. You have a nice little interface called Amazon S3. Now you can go, you can do anything. So first thing is Amazon S3 dot, Amazon S3 dot, if you want to create a new, new bucket, right? You can do a create new bucket. All you have to do is give the bucket name. Okay. Or if you want to put an object, meaning if you want to upload a brand new object, then you can do S3 dot put object. So put object will give you uploads a new object to the specified Amazon S3 bucket. Very simple. If you want to get the object, you can say get object. Gets the object stored in Amazon S3 under the specified bucket and key. So all you have to give is the bucket name and the key of your object. It will automatically get it. Any questions there? So maybe what I will do is, before I integrate this one with weather service, maybe it's not fair. So I'll go a little slow. And then what I will do is, I will show you a simple S3 stuff. We will unit test that guy. How do you create, so I'll copy this guy. I'm going to create a brand new class, something like S3 util. Yeah. S3 util, if you want, you can do a simple main method. Okay, so S3 dot, let's say create bucket. All I want to do is bucket name. Next step, training, code deploy to, let's say code deploy to. Let's go ahead and create that bucket. Okay, so for this code to work, what were you doing in CLI, guys? When you use S3 CLI, you configured CLI using two properties, access key ID and secret access key. So you need to give them as environment variables for your JVM also here. So it expects those two environment variables, access key ID and secret access key. So you have to give them as your environment variable. How do you give an environment variable in Java? System dot set property and key value pair, and then one more system dot set property. this is how you will give the environment variable. And what are the environment variable name that it expects? Well, they documented it, all the environment variables, AWS environment variables. They have a nice, see this one? One is called AWS access key ID is the first guy. So this is an environment variable. And the other one is that secret access key, AWS secret access key. This is the second guy. That's it. And now let's give the values. How do I find these values? Well, you already have it in your local machine. You go to your .aws, this PC, C users, .aws credentials. So these are the two. So I'll copy these guys. And this is my AWS access key ID, and this is my secret access key. So using these two, these are like username and password for your programmatic access, right? Using these two, your Amazon will identify that, okay, this is the account that you're dealing with. Okay, I get it. I'll go ahead and create a new bucket. So I believe that's it. We can give it a try. Let's go ahead and run as Java application because we have a main method there. Okay, let's go ahead and test it. Let's see how many buckets. There you go. A new bucket has been created through Java application. It's that easy. Okay, I'll go ahead and delete this guy. It's and then I'll run it. I'll show you. Okay. Now, how many do we have here? 3 buckets, right? Let's go ahead and create the bucket. Run as Java application. Let me refresh it. There you go. A new guy came in. So, makes sense? I'll change this next step training code deploy through Java. Let's say next step training bucket through Java. Run as Java application. And this is one use case, right? We'll do a lot more. It's there you go, through Java. We got these two, this, let's go ahead and delete it. When you delete it, you have to enter the complete bucket name. I will go ahead and delete it, and I will show you how to, the next use case is, we got, okay, we got this create bucket. Let me put a comment there. Okay, we got that. Now what we'll do is, let's list out the bucket, right? Bucket contents. So S3 dot, do we have anything like that? List buckets. Oh, you can list out the buckets and list buckets. Actually, S3 dot get.
It is the second last one. We saw that. If you go back there again.
You saw that?
Yeah, list bucket, second last one was that.
Yeah, list buckets. That is,
Yep,
that's
right,
buckets, right? But
yep.
here, what I'm trying to do is, I know what bucket I'm looking for. You know, give me the data for this guy. So I want to show you how to read this guy here, right? Next step, weather data. So this is my bucket name.
Yep.
I know my bucket name, right? So I want to read from this bucket. Okay, so S3 get object. S3 get object. Okay. S3 get object. Look at the documentation, how neatly it was documented. Gets the object stored in Amazon S3 under the specified bucket and key. Returns null if the specified constraints weren't met. Be extremely careful when using this method. The return Amazon S3 object contains a direct stream of data from HTTP connection, guys. Okay, so sure, no problem. We'll use it. So S3.getObject. Okay, and the get object request is the argument we need to pass. Get object request. Huh? Get object request equal to new get object request. Again, don't think I do it every day or anything like that. Okay, I'm doing it just for the first time, so I want you to understand it. So how simple this one is. I just know Java, any API. That's all. It's not that I'm expert or anything. No, I'm not. But I'm just looking at the API and figuring it out. It's that easy. So because this guy expects get object request, I just figured out this is the object. Okay, so it's asking for the two here. One is a bucket name, the other one is object key. So what's the bucket name, guys? This is the bucket name. This is the bucket name. And what's the object you are trying to read? Well, this is the object, and every object has key here. Every single S3 object has one of the absolute attribute called key. By default, your file name is the key by default. Okay, so give this key. So essentially what you're asking for is, in this bucket, I have an object with this key. That key has to be unique within the bucket. So give me this object with this key in this bucket is what you're saying. And now once you get the get object request, you just pass this guy to s3.getObject method as is, and then this guy is returning S3 object itself. There is an object or okay, there is a class called S3 object. Good, S3 object. It's that simple, right? So now S3 object. Now I'm trying to answer some of Ravi's questions here. S3 object dot. This is the complete object. You can get the bucket name here, the associated bucket name. You can get the key, object content if you want to get it. It's giving you the input stream, so it's directly opening up the stream to to the content. Okay, get object metadata. If you want to get any of the object metadata, you can get it, like when was this created and all. I'm assuming redirect location, tagging count is requested changed, set bucket name, all of that. Okay, so I will get the object metadata just for kicks. And then what does it return? Object metadata. Okay, object metadata, S3 model object metadata. And then we'll take a look at what does it have. I don't know what they have it, but let's take a look at it. Get, okay, get cache control, get content disposition, encoding, MD5, content range, E tag, expiration time, HTTP expires date, instance length, last modified. There you go, Mr. Last modified, object lock, legal hold status, get part count, raw metadata. Oh, there is a raw metadata, the replication status, restore expires, server side encryption enabled or not, I think, or maybe the complete encryption stuff, SSE algorithm. So the complete metadata is given. Okay, so rather than looking at it, what I will do is we will do a debug here. So I'll put a debug point here, then right click, debug as Java application, and then I'll show you. Okay. Okay, so now let's go over Amazon S3. It's making a call. No, it's building all of your the headers, encryption, all of that. So I'm still waiting here to come back. I'm debugging. I'm doing a Java debug here, guys, if you're familiar. Okay, it's doing something. Okay, now we are here. Let's go to step over, get object request. We got it. And then let's go ahead and get the object with this. Okay, so we got something here. Amazon SDK invocation. Okay, so this is the S3 object. It looks like. So see, this is the bucket name. Requested changed, false. Key is weather data CSV file. Metadata. Expiration time is now. See this one? Accept range bytes, content length 53, content type. Okay, Excel last modified. You have all the details, and this is your object content, but content in the form of stream, right? So this is your object metadata, and now if you want, you can get S3 object dot give me the full content. Okay, we want to get the full content, right? So let's get that. How do we get it? I don't know. Let's take a look at it. My intention is to show you how easy it is. That's why I don't want to do anything as if I did this before. Okay, so I don't want you to have that impression. So you can do it on the fly. I'm doing it on the fly. Get object metadata. I know I did this 1 or 2 times actually before, but object content here, S3 object input stream. So it's giving me S3 object input stream. S3 object input stream. Okay, S3 object input stream. Now I got that. Now I want to convert this S3 object input stream into string. Okay, so let's find out if any of the IO utils has anything. IO utils, do I have IO utils? Come, Amazon AWS. Oh, Amazon AWS has IO utils. That's interesting. Trust me, I don't know. And 2 byte array stream bytes. Okay, 2 string. Oh, it's giving us 3 object input stream. Okay, I didn't know this. So it's giving me the complete string, guys. String contents, content. Okay, and now I'll print out this content and then see if I got what I'm looking for or not. Run as Java application. Proceed. Compilation problems. I see. Maybe it's throwing an exception. Sure. Add throws. Run as Java application. There you go. All of our data from S3 has been read and put it like this, guys. Make sense? 48083 86 12356. Is this not the data that we created and uploaded to S3? So we read that object and we got the complete stream. We converted that stream into string. But this is not a production grade code. You have to exercise caution here. I'm only showing as an example here. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is because it's a stream. What if this guy has a 1 gig of data? Then you don't want to put everything into your Java heap. So please exercise caution there. Okay. But I know how simple file this one is. That's why I loaded everything into memory. Not a big deal. I want everything in the form of string. Now what I'm going to do is I will tokenize this one, and then this is my key and this is my value. Key value. That's all I want to do. Any thoughts, comments?
It's right. They don't have any post method on that.
Who? Sorry, what's the use case? What are you trying to do?
So let's see if I'm trying to get it as a string, right? Using a get, I think that I understood is like when we make this call, they are trying to send this through the get method, right?
Yes,
Instead, if they send it to the post, it may not pass everything as a string in that, right?
Mr. Post, that's get is if you want to get something from the server. Post is if you
Yeah.
are trying to create
Sorry.
something.
Got it.
That's a
My
complete,
bad.
that's your REST taxonomy. Okay.
Yep. My bad. I get it.
So if you want to create a new object, then use your HTTP put or HTTP post, right? You
Yep.
can't use HTTP post and then try to get it. That's
Got
your
my bad.
that's your SOAP standard, and okay, so don't mention that.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys got that. Okay, so we'll keep this guy here, and then what we'll do is let's let me show. Yes, ask me.
Quick question. I mean, are you supposed to know this for your the solutions architect exact certificate?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay, this one, Rego, maybe it makes you feel better. I did not know this when I took the test. So
Okay.
trust me. Okay. So the reason I wanted to show this to everyone here, I wanted to take time and show this is because they will appreciate it. A lot of people here they're Java people, right? They can take this, they're learning not just for the certification, there are a lot of, as I always say, there are a lot of Udemy courses out there, that tell you what AWS stuff is, but how can I utilize in my day-to-day architecture stuff, right? So
Sure.
how can I bring that solution when I think of a problem domain? How can I bring that solution into that? Okay, to fix my problem. Now, Ravi brought up a real-time use case. I have these many files. I get like thousands of files. Absolutely, write the code here. Okay, get all of your 1,000 files and then take it only first 100, and then take out only the contents and then move them to different storage class. Okay, do I know off the top of my head how do I move an object storage class? No, I do not, but we'll figure it out, and we can figure it out in 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is I wanted to show you that the power lies in the powerful REST architecture that was built on top of S3. So that is why when you make these Java calls, right? When you do a S3.get object, if you really look at the code, okay, see that it's calling the Amazon S3 encryption client, okay, crypto.get object securely. So this is what it's doing, crypto module dispatcher. And then, okay, let's take a look at this one, ae.get object securely. This is all Amazon code. You understand? So you don't have to use your REST templates or HTTP, what's that? HTTP client, I believe. That's the module. You don't have to use the modules like that. You can use a top level abstraction. So Amazon already giving you just interact with it with a couple of lines of code. See, at the network level, when you pass your access key ID and secret access key, it does a lot more. I showed you, it does convert everything into your HMAC encryption. Amazon is doing all of that for you. Amazon is doing that heavy lifting for you. You don't have to do that. Make sense? So no, the straightforward answer is absolutely no. You do not need it, because they do not expect. Java is just one programming language. There are tons out there. Okay, you can't be perfect. But I just wanted to show you guys so that you'll appreciate it. That's all. Okay, this is to get the object, right? And now what I will do is let's see if we can create a new object. Okay, I'll comment this guy. I'll comment this guy too. Let's see if we can do it. S3 dot put object. put object request is what it is expecting, this object name, okay? Or I have a different guy here. See this one? Bucket name, string key, file name. That's all. If you have a local file, if you want to upload the bucket, if you want to upload your local file to this particular bucket using certain key, your key, as I said, by default, your file name, your file.get name, and then you do it. So shall I tell you a use case here? If I write, you and I can pair up and write this code probably in 30 minutes, okay? And then all of my personal stuff is in OneDrive. Some, 100 megs, not 100 megs, 100 gig files. How easy or how difficult do you think for me to write Java code for under 30 minutes and then upload everything into S3 Glacier? Probably takes 30 minutes. I'll just go read my, my own files from my local drive. Okay, create the Java IO file. I'll get the file objects for each one of them. I'll just go s3.put object in the for loop or whatever the loop. And that's it for all the objects. So the entire 100 gig files, I can, take out from a local machine and put it in S3 Glacier Deep Archive or something. Okay, if I have some videos and photos that I wanted to upload it for cheaper, I'll just put it. But the only thing is, I'll have to keep it at least for 90 days if is that right? 90 or 180 days for the Glacier Deep Archive. And I'll keep it there as a separate copy, just in case, as an archival process. Okay, Ravi, did you get the confidence that how simply we can solve any problem related to this?
Yeah, yes, Venkat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really. I mean, this applies to any other programming. We can use this in Python.
Absolutely.
Or we can use this in any other languages.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, are you feeling better than yesterday, saying that now I can go bonkers? I can do anything, because S3 CLI has a lot of limitations, but this one is this is the real code. CLI is just few commands. It makes your life easy. You can script to an extent. Script. You can only script so much using CLI, but with this one, with SDK, you can create systems like anything. Okay, so I want you to take this to your office and then go solve that problem.
Sure.
So,
Thank you.
Yep. Now s3.put object and take this guy here. This is my bucket name, and let's say key. Key is what am I? Let's put some, I don't know, zip code data. Lack of better this one. And then I know I have this file, but I'll not use file. I can use file. I can upload the file, or I'll use some content out there. Like that, just some data. Okay, I'm creating this object. Okay, zip code data.txt file. Okay, I'm creating this guy using this data. This is my content. Okay, I'm uploading this content. I'm just showing it to you, some simple command. That's all. Run as Java application. Let's go check our. There you go, zip code data. I know I didn't make it public. I'll make public just to be able to see this. This is the code that we using Java. We uploaded this data. But this is a simple, but I can read my files and stream it across. Make sense, guys? Okay, I'll not spend a whole lot of time now. I think I feel you're all feeling pretty strong about it now. So, but we will finish what we started with. So now this is just a util class, right? Now what I'm going to do is, I'll take this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay. I'll take this guy and go to my weather service. Do you want me to finish this or you guys are good? So I just can deploy it. See access key ID and this one got Amazon S3 and then go to get the CSV file and then get S3 object. You got your stream and then you got your content and then yep. It's IO utils, they have their own IO utils. I like that. Okay, so I got this content and now I'll throw the exception. So I got the content, right? This one, maybe I can use some CSV utils and get object. Do I have any CSV? Oh, CSV input, CSV output, Amazon AWS. God, these guys describe how CSV formatted results are formatted. Huh? I don't know what that one is, but what we can do is we got this content. What we can do is common CSV. Let's use some common CSV. Is there anything like a common CSV? Yeah, there you go. Common CSV Maven. So this is org Apache Commons. We have this common CSV. I'll take this guy and put it in POM. And then I'll, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to convert that CSV file, okay, into objects so that I can do a key value pair. Common CSV. Now, let's look at some, let's Google this guy. Common CSV, let's do a Java example. Somebody wrote something. It should be very simple, straightforward guy. There you go. CSV format dot default with, okay. CSV format dot default dot, I don't have a with headers. We don't have headers, right? The first line is not headers. And then parse. Parse is a reader. So it's accepting a reader. But what we have, can I parse the complete? No, I can only parse the reader. So, but I have in the input stream format, or I have in the code string format. So if I want to convert this reader, input stream into reader, what reader is this? Reader. Java IO reader. Do we have anything like a buffer reader? Yep, buffer reader. Can it take a look at this guy? Okay. Okay. Or I can use any IO utils dot.
I think it has something read fully when get object store.
Which one? The CSV format?
Oh, for the CSV format.
So we have an input stream to reader, right? So input stream to reader. Okay, there you go. Somebody answered that question already. So let's go pick this guy. There you go. It's that simple, apparently. So input stream. Oh, okay. Byte. Oh, new input stream reader. There you go. Okay, reader, target reader equal to new input stream reader of your S3 object input stream. Pass that as S3 object input stream. Now you got your target reader. Now you pass your target reader to your CSV guy. And now what does it give me? CSV parser. Okay. So I'll get my CSV parser and then So it gives me my records like that. It's that simple, looks like. Yeah. So you might have done this one in your professional career already at in office, right? We all have done it at some point. CSV records equal to, I'm taking my CSV records dot get of 0. Give me the first one. The first one is what's our first guy? Zip code. And the second token is temperature, right? This is zip code. This is the temperature. Now what we'll do is we can create a poor man's map. Okay. We can create a poor man's map. Sorry. By no means this is a production grade code. Okay, don't take it. Just show some random. Zip to temp map equal to new hash map. Okay. Dot put. So use this zip as a key and then temp as value. There you go. So what did I do here? I went to S3, get the weather data CSV file, read it, okay, loop through each line in that CSV file and put it into map. And now you passed me zip code, right? What I will do is I'll do a zip code map dot get. I'll try to look up and then I'll pass you that. That's it. It's that simple. Now this is a no more simple weather service. It's a little complicated service now. Okay, it's throwing an exception. That's it. So you are passing a zip code and I will look. So when you, for each call, that is why I'm saying this is not a production grade. For each call, I'm making an S3 call, get the whole file and then pass it in memory, converting into map and then looking if I have this zip code available. That's, that's not a production grade code, right? But that's not the intention anyway here. Intention is not to write a production grade code. Okay. Oops, what happened? Port 8080 already in use. So let's go check. Oh, it's because my standalone Tomcat is running. So let me kill this guy. I killed it. Now let me run it as a Spring Boot app. Okay, now let's go. Localhost 8080 and /weather /12345. Do I have 12345? Oh, it's taking time now because it's making a call, right? So where is the data? So let me call 55108. Whose zip code is that? Minnesota?
Yeah.
Temperature is it really 16 degrees there?
No, I mean, it was, I'm right now in Troy, Michigan. I used to be there.
I'm kidding. Just 48083, 86 degrees. Did you see that? So we are making an S3 call, reading the data and giving it dynamic information. Guys, are you able to appreciate what we are doing here? I'll complicate it later on in the day. So every single time you make a call, you're calling S3, get the object, parse it, converting into map and checking if your zip code exists in that, right? So this is how I want to complicate it. Where do you typically read this data from? It's a dynamic data, right? You want to read this from a database, correct? So what's the good idea? Can anyone tell me what's the best way to, I mean, may not be the best way, but what's one way to skin it? What's the one way to improve it? Can anyone tell me? We are going to talk about relational database service. So I'm going to show you how to create a relational database in AWS. We will have a relational database. So we will have a table there. So we will write a service. Okay. That service will read the CSV file from S3 and dump it into the database. And our regular REST call will read only from the database. So everybody will read from the database, but we get, let's say we get the feed from government, weather data from weather people. We have our own sources and we get the data let's say every 6 hours we get the data. When new CSV come in, what we'll tell those analysts is that, hey, all you have to do is just upload this file to S3 and then make this web service call, make this REST call to refresh the data. So when he or she uploads the CSV file into S3 and then make a REST call, what that REST call does is it will go get the new data and then wipe out all the data from database. It deletes all of them and then reinsert this one, so that your REST API will always get the current data from database. Does it make sense? This is a poor man's version of, because we don't have a event-driven architecture yet. So later on, we will complicate the things. I'll introduce a concept called lambdas. So with lambdas, what we can do is, as soon as when somebody uploads the file, you trigger an event. When an event is triggered, okay, then you write this Java code or Python code or C# code. You can write anything, right? So you write that lambda, and then that lambda will go fetch the data from S3 and load it into your RDS. Make sense, guys? Since we don't have that event-based architecture yet, so we ask analysts to do two things. You upload the file in S3 and then also make a call to refresh your content in the database. That's my what do you call, my objective for today. What do you guys think? You guys are liking how we are connecting everything together?
Yes.
Are you able to see the real world nature of it? We are not just we are not learning swimming in swimming pool. We are actually swimming inside the ocean, like how we are bringing the real world problems and how to solve them. So that's my way of attacking it, whether it be Java, be AWS, right? So that's what I wanted to do. Are you guys familiar with, so to write the data into database, I'll use plain simple Spring JDBC. Okay. And Regu, you are the only one who is not familiar with Java, right? This is like, nothing Java here. Yeah, yes, there is a bit of Java, but essentially it's the same. It doesn't matter what the programming language is. Essentially, you are somehow inserting that data into the database. Okay. For that, we do not have a database yet, but we are going to in probably 5 minutes. So that's about it. Do you guys want to take a break? Let's come back at 10:10, and then we'll finish this one. Oh, sorry, 10:10 is 15 minutes break. Huh? 10:05, please. So, okay. So I'll break this one into two different videos. I'll stop recording here so that the video 1, video 2 will be in two different videos. See you guys at 10:05.